song, and I thought it was beautiful. You did a great job. Thank you for that. And do you believe that? Do you believe that the power of love heals us away? I can't think of another word, because to me, love is God, is source, is energy. It's everything that we are. It's the power that runs through every cell in our body, and it does heal us. And I'm here today to talk about recognizing that power, because I think it's there. I'm not sure we really believe it's there. So I want to talk about that a little bit. Mark Nepal says that to believe means to give your heart to. So I want to talk about giving our heart to love. What does that look like, in your life? Because I think if we do, if we rely on it, if we know it, that it exists in every cell in our body, it changes us. It changes, like the song, it changes everything. And it changes the way that we interact with people. It changes our world. And we need love in our world right now. And it doesn't happen until it happens inside each and every one of us. Do you think that's true? I do too. Ezra Pound says, what matters most is not the idea you hold, but the depth of which you hold it. See, how much do you believe that love really heals your life? How much do you really believe that? If we are energy beings that are made from the power of love, and love is the purest, most natural form of energy, then how can it not heal our lives? It's funny, I started reading, you guys remember years ago, it was in the 80s, I don't know, I think sometime when Bernie Siegel was really popular at that time. And he's a pediatric surgeon, I think, and he wrote all these books on miracles and healing and the power of love to do all of this work. And I remember being like, I don't know how it was in the 80s, I was young, really young, and well, not that young, but young. And for now, right, for now, I'm old now. So anyway, I remember reading this thing that he wrote, and I looked for it all over, and I couldn't find it. It was about this lady named Evie McDonald. And I remember it, and I thought about it all these years, and I think it might have been one of the reasons that I ever went to this kind of church, or this way of thinking. And it was about this power of love in Evie's life. And I couldn't find it anywhere, and I kept looking all over the internet, and it was really weird. I swear to God this happened. It was in my email box the next day on a newsletter that I had gotten from some, Anyway, and I hadn't talked about it. It just was there. I'm not kidding you. See, that's kind of part of what I'm talking about, the synchronicity in life. If we're open and if we believe in this power of love, it comes to us. Okay, so I want to talk about this, about Evie for a minute, because I want to tell you her story, because it kind of, to me, cements this idea that love can change things. And here's, first of all, Bernie Siegel, here's what he says about healing. I want to talk about what healing says. The definition of healing has nothing really to do with the body. People who are healed live peaceful, joyful, loving lives, serving mankind and providing others with peace, strength, and energy. They are not victims, no matter what's going on in their lives or in their bodies. But he also goes on to say that he and many physicians have seen evidence of these unbelievable effects of love on healing the body itself. So he tells the story of a young woman named Evie McDonald, and she had this severe case. The doctors had told her, just diagnosed her with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. Her neurologist said she had about 6 to 12 months to live, and that she needs to get her affairs in order. So she writes that death seemed pretty inevitable, and there was a part of her, because she was in such pain, and she just hated her life at that time, was looking forward to ending her life. Yet she said she had this strong, unfinished business, this strong compulsion to discover what unconditional love was before she died. She goes, I just want to feel it, and I get that. I get what she's saying. If you're given a certain amount of time, and you think, what do you want to do with it? I get why anybody would want to feel this incredible power in their life and feel what it feels like. So that called to me. So she describes her experience after she makes this commitment to unconditional love. So she begins to sit in front of a mirror, and she used to just hate her body, and I think especially women can really relate to this. We always, we gotta cover up our bodies, and we talk about this a lot in women's class and stuff. We're not, as we get older, we gotta put like this with our face, and put sweaters on so we don't show our wings and things like this, So So she's got Lou Gehrig's, right, disease. So she's like in a wheelchair, and her muscles are weak and stuff, and she just hates her body. So she gets in front of the mirror and she says that, she describes her experiences. And she said, I began by sitting in front of the mirror, and I always looked at disgust with my deteriorating body. She sat in a wheelchair with all of her muscles atrophying. My arms and my legs were shrinking. She says, how could I ever realize unconditional love if I can't even accept my own body the way it is? So the first step that she did was to write down how many negative thoughts that she had about her body in the course of a day. So if it's not your body, think about it in your life. If you've got something else going on, how many negative thoughts you think about what's going on in your life. And then she said, and how many positive ones? So she said, when I saw the huge preponderance of negative thoughts on paper, I was forced to confront the degree of hatred that I had for my body. She called herself a bowl of jello in a wheelchair. She says, to counter this negativity, every day she would stand in front of the mirror. She singled out one aspect of her physical body that was acceptable to her, no matter how small, right? So she liked her eyebrow. You know, she would say, I have a beautiful eyebrow. Right? Next, I used that item to begin the rewriting. Every negative thought would be followed by a positive statement. Every day, a different positive and grateful statement would be added. Every single day she did this for many months. And she said she couldn't pinpoint when it exactly happened, but one day she looked at her body and she saw beauty, nothing but beauty in her body, no negative thoughts at all. She said she felt this total, complete peace in her body, unalterable acceptance of the way her body was. She says it didn't need to be different anymore. She didn't have to get up and walk. She didn't have to be beautiful. She didn't have to be anything other than she was. And she said it could be. See, I accepted my body. It didn't need to be any different. It could be whatever it was and whatever it was to be. My illness was a challenge, but it was such a gift. I was stimulated to examine my deepest thoughts and desires and beliefs. So she had to go through all of the stuff about her body, why she felt this way. The journey of self-discovery restructured my life, and it led me into this powerful experience of a mind-body connection. So she writes the letter to Bernie Siegel, and she said her physical body had stopped deteriorating, and it began to reverse, and all of the havoc and all of the stuff that was going on by ALS started to heal itself. She said, and then she writes, physical healing did not occur because I set out to cure myself. I'm not here to cure the body, but because my job on earth, my job here was to discover what unconditional love was. And that wasn't complete. And she said, since then, I wake up every single day and I'm filled with joy and enthusiasm. And her body is healed. She's now, I looked her up, she's still alive. You know, I didn't want to do this talk if she had died a few years later. But she didn't. You know, her body is doing well. She's a minister somewhere in New York. And what she said was her intention was not to change her body, but to change her mind. Replacing self-hatred with self-love was the healing itself. She said that was the first healing was to feel unconditional love. The second healing just came along, if it was supposed to. She said if it came, fine. If it didn't, that's okay too. Because she now felt this incredible power of her source of love that ran through her, and she felt it everywhere. And it changed everything that she was. So I got to thinking about that. I thought about that through the years, and I think, you know, this mind-body connection that we have is so powerful. This power of belief, what we really do believe. Where belief means where we place our heart, right? Where do we place our heart in our life? So can you imagine, you know, if you're healing, you know, if you need healing, emotional healing in your body, physical healing in your body, love is where it starts, and I do believe that with all my heart. It starts here in your heart. That's where creation starts. That's where creation starts. It's inside us, within us. That's what manifests out. Our body is that. Our body is that. So, you know, I remember reading Llewellyn Bodley, and Judy, you love him too, don't you? He is such a great author, and he said that we are born, when we're born, we carry this light of love, and this love that we have illuminates our childhood, illuminates our whole life, you know, and especially it shows that this world is fully alive when you're little, right? Because you have this light that you're carrying with you. And he says that slowly, as we get to be adults, then the adult world kind of closes in, right? It just, you got all these concerns and all these worries and all this stuff, is clouding us. And so we start to lose that light that is inside of us, that source of love, that unconditional love starts to get covered up. And we start to hide things, and we make stories up, and we change from when we were these joyous little kids. And we forget the wonder, the wonder of the world, the wonder of each other, the wonder of life, the wonder of nature, like you did when you were a kid. We forget the power of play. We forget our magnificence. Kids, I was with my kids yesterday, all three of the grandkids. Man, they were just running around having the best time of their life. And I went, well, I want to do that. I want to jump, and play and skip. I might break a few bones doing it, but in my heart, I wanted to be there doing this. So, Llewellyn Lonely says, though, that the moment will come, and sometimes it's just a moment, that this spark gets rekindled in us. So I want to talk about that for a minute. If you can feel that spark in you, whatever it is, sometimes it's a flower, whatever you've got to notice it. If you get that spark, you can grow the spark. And so you can all do that. You know what I'm saying? So if you're feeling weighted down by the world, you can get a little spark and grow it, just like a little ember grows, into a fire. You can light the fire inside of you to feel the power of God inside of you, to feel the source move through your body, to move through each other, to move through the world. That's our ultimate goal, isn't it? Is to heal ourselves so that we can, not turn on the news and see this horrible stuff, so that we can just, maybe not turn on the news, so that we can just know it, That's what love does. I love the reading Stacy did, because she talked about the power of love is like water, that it doesn't care where it goes, right? You don't have to be good, bad, different, you can be anything. And the power of love falls into every hole in your body, right? Every hole in your life, in your emotions, it fills it with love. It just flows, if we let it, Come on, we gotta let it. And I'm not yelling at you guys, I'm just saying, sometimes I don't let it. And sometimes we just have to say, wow, love is all there is, you guys. It seems like there's a lot going on in the surface, and there is. But underneath that is that power, that incredible power of love, It heals relationships, it heals emotions, it heals bodies, that if you want it to, it doesn't have to. Sometimes, we'll feel it just for that instant, like I said, coming to work, I'll look up and I'll see this beautiful sunset, or I'll see a flower and all of a sudden I go, oh, it feels good. Or actually, my little dog Pepe, some of you know Pepe, he's kind of a nut ball, but he's really cute. And I was holding him just last night, and I don't know if you guys ever did this, but I go, I don't know how to even explain that feeling. You know what I'm talking about? You did it with babies, when you had little babies, and it's just this little feeling that goes, love you so much, And I remember my grandma did that to me, and I remember going, and I was a little kid at the time. I actually remember this, and I'm like, what is she doing? And now, as I look back, I remember that feeling is like, oh, I love you so much. It's like this energy, and that's the little kindle, the power of love. See, that I'm talking about. That's this little tiny ember that we can grow upon. So I feel that power of just my little dog, right? And I'm going, oh, like that. Then all of a sudden, he's down doing his own thing, and I can still draw upon that, right? I can let it grow. I can meditate. I can take a breath and breathe into it so that it expands. And I try to carry that with me. It doesn't always work. I have to keep doing it over and over and over. But we can do that. We can uncover it. We really find it, because it's never lost. It's always there. Love's always with you. But we got to notice, and then we got to have gratitude for it. Man, I have gratitude for that little tiny puppy. I love him. I have gratitude for every little flower. When I drive to work and I see the sunsets and I see the trees and I see you guys sitting here, I'm so grateful. And that gratefulness has the energy and the power of love that heals. Does that make sense? So gratefulness heals. Acceptance heals. At any moment we can tap into the power if we just believe it. If we drop to our heart and feel it. Believing is putting your heart towards something. Putting your heart towards something is believing something. So that's what I'm talking about. You are this power. You are the power of love, and you're not separate from it. You know, you are here in love in a physical form right now. In a physical form. One day the physical form will go. But guess what stays? Is the power of love in you. Because that's who you are. That's who you are. So remember that. You are love in physical form. And miracles can happen anytime we have the faith, anytime that we really believe. There's no religion, no dogma, no creed or movement that will ever be able to tell you your truth. Your truth is here, and it's all you need if you believe it. It's inside of you, if we look there. So our lesson is to accept, right? Accept what Judy's meditation was beautiful. It's about accepting what is in your life. That's the gateway. Whatever's going on in your life, love it, accept it, and move through it. I used to do a talk on damage, called damage, bless it, accept it, and move on. You bless it, you accept it, and then you'll move on. But you gotta go through it. You can't bury it down. Bless it, accept it, and move on. Slow down. Oh man, I need that one. I need to be able to just sit down and be grateful, and I'm doing you see, life does it to you. You get older and you can't move as fast anyway, right? So it's like, if you don't do it, eventually it'll happen, but you might as well do it now. You know, slow down, get grateful. Get grateful for what you have in your life right now. And boy, do we have a lot to be grateful for. And then listen. Listen to yourself inside. Listen to your intuition. What's it saying to you? You know? Remember that within you lies the most greatest power in the whole world. It's the power that created the world, the power that grew you, grew every hair on your head. Or not. Mark Nebo. I wasn't looking at anybody when I said that. Mark Nebo. I believe means I give my heart to this. And that's what I pray for each and every one of us, is that we give our heart to love. We really, really do. And I believe this with all my heart. So please, as I close, repeat after me. Love in my heart.
Love in my heart.
Love in my family.
Love in my family.
Love in my community.
Love in my community.
And love in the world.
Love in the world.
Thank you.